Happy Friday, Brian Manning here with the weekly update. Let's get right to it. So first, I like to rewind back to Friday of last week. So Friday of last week, we get the BLS employment report. This is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We get two employment reports every month. We get ADP report typically on the first Wednesday, BLS on the first Friday. Okay, so ADP comes out last week on Wednesday. They say we have 37,000 new jobs that were created in the month of May across the country. Not a great report. Markets react to that. Then the BLS comes out and the BLS says, oh, hold on one second. We got 139,000 jobs created in the month of May across the country. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to call bullshit on this because there's no way ADP, the largest provider of private payrolls in the US, who has their finger on the pulse of payroll, hiring, et cetera, says 37,000 and the BLS says, oh, we just have 100,000 jobs more in the marketplace than ADP says. The challenge that we have here is when these numbers get reported, markets react because the Federal Reserve has two mandates. One, they have price stability, so that's controlling inflation. And number two, they have employment across the country, keeping people employed. So the Federal Reserve is making decisions off this. And when really strong employment reports come out, mortgage rates move higher because the sentiment in the market is that the Federal Reserve will not lower rates when the employment is looking really good. So you get this report comes out, it's 137,000 jobs. What's crazy though is the revisions. So if we look back at March and April, there was revisions between those 2 months, and those 2 months were revised lower by 95,000 jobs. The problem that we have is that the markets react based on the report that we get, the employment report at that point in time, and markets do not react based on revisions when they come back and say, oh, I'm so sorry, our first report was wrong, we need to revise that lower. I feel like right now we're seeing mortgage rates about 0.5% higher than we need to see them because the BLS, as they said in this article with the Wall Street Journal, is that they do a lot of modeling and they're not really confident in the numbers they're putting out there. Now, this is probably not, this is not due to the people that work at the BLS. They're probably doing a great job. It's just due to the government sector, lack of funding, et cetera. So it's really just unfortunate to see mortgage rates react. You see mortgage rates rise based on a really strong employment report, but the numbers just don't align at all. Wednesday this week, though, we get CPI. So CPI is Consumer Price Index. There's two reports on inflation we get every single month. There's PCE and there's CPI. When we look at the headline rate increased by 0.08%. That was a really minimal increase. That was much better than expected. Then we look at the core rate. The core rate strips out volatile items such as food and energy. That went up 0.13%. The reason why it was good to see this report because there's been a lot of uncertainty about inflation and how are the tariffs across the country going to impact inflation. This is really the first report coming out that had enough time to pull in the inflationary data along with the tariffs that are floating around out there. And it really showed that as of right now, and of course this could change, but the tariffs are not having a great impact on inflation. Thursday this week, we get initial claims. So every week we get feedback on how many people are new filing unemployment. This number was at 248,000 people. That's actually a really high number. And the concern right now is we're potentially starting to see a trend. So usually you see like a spike in a high number and then you see it go down. But now we're 3 weeks in a row of this continual increase of people filing for new unemployment claims. So 248,000 is a large number. We have to wait and see if that continues. But right now, that's definitely caught some awareness. Today, really starting from last night, unfortunately, we have Israel striking Iran. The problem that we have with this, other than humanitarian stuff, which is a different topic, the challenge we see in the markets is this is potentially inflationary. So Iran provides 4% of the oil to the world. And as oil prices potentially increase, that could have impact on inflation, especially for us here in the US. So markets are not reacting favorably to this right now because we're just kind of an uncertainty about what's going to happen. And is this going to have an impact on oil prices across the country, or excuse me, around the world, because we did see oil prices spike today. And now there's just this uncertainty. So this is kind of a situation that's unfolding. We're going to have to continue to watch it. It's an unfortunate situation. And if we see striking of oil fields, that's going to be impactful to oil costs because like I already said, Iran provides 4% of the oil to the world, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens. I'm available all weekend. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm available 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Reach out if you have any questions. We'd love to help you. If you're a realtor, keep an eye out. We have a class coming up in Boulder this upcoming week on Thursday at Black Belly. winning in a buyer's market. This is the 5th time we're doing this class. We've had great success with it. This is the last time we will be offering this luncheon in Boulder. If you have not attended it and you want to, please RSVP. It will sell out. They always do. Happy Friday. Have a great day.